Hey guys, this is Dr. Allyn, and I'm inviting you into my workout. Almost 20 years ago, developed a program called Your Essential Self, where we used brain retraining, lots of different types of movement practices, and other tools in order to help to create change in the brain, because we are creating our lives based on our beliefs. And one thing that I have noticed since I've been lifting weights more through my menopause journey is that the stronger my body gets, the more in control, the better mindset, the stronger my brain gets. And that's helping me to shift my beliefs about myself. So whether you're trying to create change in your life, you can't just move things physically to create change. We have to actually change ourselves. And you can do it top down. I'll work on my brain, and I'll work on my emotions. I'll work on my energy, my vibration, and then I'll work on the physical stuff in my life. Or you can work on it in the reverse, from the bottom up. And some people think it's harder. But sometimes for those of us who really need to feel like we are in action, just repeating something over and over and over enough in the physical plane, meaning like this workout. So we're going to do a pull workout for upper body today, because that's where I am in my training. I usually train 4 times a week. I'm going to do a physical body workout, and in doing so, I'm going to feel stronger. I'm going to feel proud of myself for keeping my word to myself. I'm going to feel in action about creating change. And that change for me is stronger muscles, bigger, stronger muscles, bigger, stronger bones. And also the change for me is a brighter, stronger, more focused brain. So, however you believe things happen and get created in life, working out with weights is, to me, one of the great tools, just like our breath, just like our yoga practices, just like tapping, just like mindfulness, just like all the other things that are important. And you do bring some of that stuff into the practice. I absolutely practice my strength training with mindfulness and with my breath. So anyway, I have this cute little weight set. I have set up my weight to look like this right now. So I have 2 5-pounds on each side plus the bar. So this is probably about 23 pounds. I don't recommend starting with that. I know that for this exercise we're about to do, I started with 10 pounds 2 years ago when I started my strength training journey. I'm taking a chair, placing it in my space. I'm working out without shoes on, which is not highly recommended, but it's really what I do in the mornings anyway. Generally, I wake up in the morning wearing my pajamas, and I do my strength training before I go and teach a yoga class, before I work with clients, whatever I'm doing that day. So anyway, what I'm going to do is use this chair. I'm going to take it onto my mat here, and I'm going to use it so I could be in this bent over position. I'm going to alternate my legs and alternate my hands. So we're going to work on our lats right now. So we're going to hold the weight and pull the hand up to like the waist or the hip area, and we'll get started. So I'm going to put a hand down. I'm bracing my core. I have the same hand and arm, like the arm that I'm using, that leg is back. And I'm going to let my shoulder blade release, so my arm bone kind of pulls a little gently out of the shoulder socket, and I'll exhale to pull up, inhale to come down. So I'm doing 10. 1, 2, 3, and I'm bracing in my core. My legs are strong, stabilizing me. 5, 8, 9, and 10. And I place it down gently. And that's half of one set. I'm going to just do the other side here. So I have my left leg forward now, right leg back, hand down on the weight, leaning on both my front foot and my arm. I'm going to let my right shoulder blade drop down, embrace my core by pulling navel up and front ribs hugging in, and I'll exhale to pull. Now, when you're working out, you want to be focusing on the muscles that you're working. It's called mind-muscle connection, or you could call it mindfulness. Whoops, I just got my microphone wire in the way. So I'm thinking about the upper outer back and squeezing those muscles as I pull up. I'm going to do 2 more because I'm not counting. Okay, so that's 1 set. I'm going to do 2 more sets. And maybe I'll figure out how to fast forward so that doesn't take so long. But I work out for about 30 minutes. Sometimes because I like to take a nice break in between sets, especially at my age. I'm 59 years old. I work out differently than I used to. I used to like power through everything. Now I power through my set, and then I give my body plenty of time to rest and recover in between. So I'm going to go again. Side 1. Sometimes I do it with my feet a little bit apart or together, leaning on the chair like this, and I brace. 6. Exhale. And other side. So I'll stick with this variation with the legs, but there's lots of different positions you can use. And I'll start by moving my microphone wire out of the way. And here we go, breathing out to pull. Really letting that shoulder blade stretch. Good, so that's 2 rounds. I usually walk around a little bit in between sets. I do have some green tea that I'm drinking. I also have water with electrolytes right there. Something that's really important that I really have been focusing on so much more these last 2 years is nutrition. I try to eat intuitively, but when menopause hit, my old intuitive way of eating was not working for me. But also I was not doing strength training. So I had to change a lot of things. One of the things that I did change, I started to watch my macros and my volume of food. I was eating too little, but I was eating too many carbs and too much fat and way too little protein, which I think a lot of women do, and especially in this wellness industry. I had been vegetarian and vegan for a lot of my life, and personally I chose to change because I wanted to get more protein so I could build muscle and bone density. So I'm going to do 1 more set, stretching the shoulder blade and exhaling up as I brace by hugging upper outer thighs in, pushing down with the big toe on each foot, having my front ribs hug in, and my navel is actively pulling up, so I'm strengthening in my core. You want it to be hard enough. You want to have enough weights so that you are, like after 6, if you're doing 10 reps, you're starting to feel like, ooh, this is really hard. And by the time you get to 10, you feel like, I really can't do another. Now, I probably could go up another 2.5, maybe even 5 pounds. But it's the first day that I'm recording this way, so I wanted to kind of take it a little easy and see how it goes. So here we go. Strong legs, strong core, stretch the shoulder blade, and exhale to come up. Okay, that was exercise number 1. And next I'm going to lay down on the ground, and I think I'll angle down my camera a little bit more. And I'm going to still work on the lats, but it also will get the little bit, not quite tricep, it's really an upper back exercise. We're going to go overhead and down. I usually do this on a bench, and I usually, because I'm on a bench, I'm able to let my arms come a little further down past my head. So I'm going to get creative. Okay, this is my makeshift bench. Oh, that's perfect. Okay, so I'm going to lift up my one weight. I'm holding with my hands against one side. And first thing I'm going to do is brace. My core is tight, my navel drawing down toward the spine. I'm going to take my front ribs. Mine personally are hypermobile, and so I'm going to hug them down. So it's almost like I'm doing a sit-up. And then bringing my hands directly over my shoulders, I'm going to bend my elbows slightly, and then inhale to bring the arms overhead, and exhale, keeping them slightly bent back up. So you don't have to go super far back. Exhale front. So my weight is just about touching the floor, and that feels like enough of a stretch for me, but I'm not super duper flexible in my shoulders, so you might be able to go further. Keep bracing in your core and use your upper outer back, like your underarms and the muscles that go down the sides of the rib cage and along the back of the ribs. As you exhale, use those muscles to bring the elbows forward. Try not to flare your ribs up when your arms go overhead. One more for me. And then to come out of this, I usually put one hand at least on the bar. I bend my arms. I'll come up a little bit. And because I know I'm so low to the ground, I'm just going to place it on the ground. But usually when I'm on a flat bench that's more even than this, I would kind of bring my knees up and allow myself with the weight in my hand to rock forward, keeping it on my knee. But because this is so, let's call it janky, it's just so weird the way I made this little bench for myself here. All because I didn't want to carry the bench downstairs. So there you go. We could call this the lazy girl's guide to working out, or the yogi's guide to being a strength trainer. So that was one set, and I'm definitely feeling it here. Let's do 2 more sets. I have my weight. I'm cautiously lying down, finding my support on my bench. Before I do anything else, I make sure I have a nice grip on that one end. Elbows a little bent. I'm going to keep my arms like this, with my elbows not pointed outward, but hugging in. And then right away, I'm going to brace. My ribs hug down, my navel draws back, and I feel my feet on the earth, or if I'm on my bench, I do have them actually up on the bench with me. So, full breath in to extend overhead, and exhale, keeping your arms slightly bent. Inhale, back to a place that feels like just enough of a stretch, but not a big stretch. This is not about stretching. It's about exhale and strengthen. So I'm going to focus using my breath. I have 4 more. 3, 2, 1 more. So I have one hand on the bar, bring that to my shoulder, bring the knees up, and then let the weights kind of rock with my legs to come up. Okay. Taking a break for me, usually about a minute in between. Maybe a little less sometimes. I'm going to go a little less right now because I talked more because you're here with me. I'm going to do my last round. Bracing core, arms in position. Exhale, 1, 2. Exhaling on the effort. Bracing in the core. Okay. And I'm going to get up and walk around a little bit and shake it out. I love that feeling of fatigue, the muscle fatigue that you get from strength training. It's always so surprising that maybe I do 4 to 5 different exercises, 3 or 4 sets each. And in a 30-minute period, I'm like, woo, shaky and so cool. Okay, so next, I'm going to work on my bicep muscles. And with my biceps, I for sure I'm going down in weight from this. So the bicep means that there's 2 muscles. There's a longer muscle and a shorter muscle that make up the bicep. And it's good to work on both of them. I had been doing a rotating bicep curl for quite a while. And then I switched to doing with the hands facing in. That works with the longer muscle. And then with the palms facing forward, it works with the shorter bicep muscle. So anyway, before I completely fatigue myself, I'm grabbing my second little dumbbell bar. It's great to work on the 2 sides of the body separately sometimes because it helps you to kind of correct imbalance in the way the body works. But if you're short on time, it's good to do 2 sides at once because you get it done faster. Okay, this is not a graceful situation, which is why if you have the space and the money and you're buying a weight set, my dream is to have like a set of all the different weights. So all I have to do is like pick these 2 up and put them back and take a different one, and I don't have to worry about changing the weights. But anyway, I am done with that and I'm done complaining about it. So go ahead and stand tall. A couple of different options with your legs. I like to usually just like keep my legs strong and tight and straight. And I'm going to do a set of palms facing in bicep curls. So here we go. Exhale up, inhale down. What's important is that you're bracing strong legs, buttocks tight, navel and core in, and that you are not swinging your body. So this amount of weight for me, it's probably about 12.5 pounds on each side. Feels like just enough. Sometimes I can do 15. Exhaling up and inhaling down, and you notice I'm not swinging. Very different. And with arms, with the smaller muscles, I try to do 12 reps instead of 10. But when I'm talking and teaching, I never count. So I think I'm going to do one more because I'm feeling like that's all I can do. And I'm done. Okay, so I worked that longer muscle here. I'm not that cut, so I don't know if you'll really see the difference. But when you work with the palm facing in, it gets the long muscle. When you rotate the palm facing in, it works that shorter one, the part of the bicep that really pops. So you can see the difference. You see how the bicep extends almost all the way to my elbow when my palm is in, and then when I curl up, kind of sinks down a little, and then this part pops. So that's the difference. Okay, second round, biceps. Here we go. Exhale. 1, 2, 3, 4. Elbows right by your waist. Exhale up. 5, 6, 7. Strong legs. Buttocks tight. Core engaged strongly. So even though we're working with our bicep muscles, I know I'm getting a core workout at the same time. Try not to hold your breath when it gets hard. I kind of blow really strong. It's probably loud in your ear. Okay, good. Shake your arms out. I like to really stretch and relax them. Okay, one more. Pulling the arms up. Biceps, doing the longer biceps this week, this day. So other options with your legs, you can always have one foot behind you, like a little kickstand. You're still engaging legs, buttocks, and belly. And this sometimes, as you exhale up, you can push with that back leg, and it might help you to have a nice, stable stance. Sometimes I do this. I do it a lot with shoulders, actually, because I'll notice I'll get into my lower back and cheat if I don't have that. Sometimes I have feet apart, legs a little bent, so I can really feel my lower back lengthened, my core engaged. 7-ish, I don't really know. 8, 10. Now you'll notice I'm getting fatigued, and so I might get stuck on my last one, which is coming up now, and not be able to come all the way up, but the muscles are engaged, and so it's fine, and I'll just count that as a rep because I did the work that we want, which is engaging the muscles. And we really want to get to full muscle fatigue like that by our last rep. So I'll call that extra super successful, even though some people might think, oh, you didn't even finish the last one. I did. I just finished it in my way, in a strong way, and I've seen lots of other trainers do that, so I know it's good to do. So our last exercise is a rear delt fly. So that's the back of the shoulder. I have to go even lighter than this because it's a movement where we're going to have our arms go away from the body. Anytime you're doing a movement like that, you're probably going to have to go a little lighter than other exercises. And so, rather than not be able to get my reps in or swinging my body instead of using my muscles to move the arms and get that muscle, like sometimes we can overcompensate with the bigger muscles of the back for this exercise, and I want to really be able to try to go nice and controlled and isolate it in the back of my shoulder so I'm not missing out on the opportunity to strengthen and build the muscle there. So I have a 5 and a 2.5 on each side, and we're going to come into a slight forward bend. If you have a bench and you could put it on an angle like you would do for an incline fly, you could straddle the bench, lean your chest against that for stability. But since I'm not using my bench today, I'm going to lean my body a little bit forward, keeping a long straight spine, activating my core, my legs, my butt a lot. And I'm going to lead with my pinky finger as I reach the arms back, or really pull them up. So I'm going to pull up. Now I'm exhaling. 2 more. 1 more. Then bend your knees, let the weights go. Whew, and walk it out. Good work, guys. Okay, round 2, working on our rear delt. So it's the back of the shoulder. You can see it starting to fill up a little bit. We're going to brace a lot. Bend knees, hinge at the hips, let your arms come down. Turn the palms a little bit towards your legs. Exhale, arms reach out to the sides and a little bit behind. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. So I was talking about in the beginning that working with weights, what I notice is my mindset gets stronger. My mind gets a little more positive. And I feel like it's because you feel really powerful. I feel good about myself. I feel like doing everything I can so that when I get to be the age of my mother in 25 years, she's 83, turning 84 this year. She has not worked out in her lifetime maybe I can say with pretty good confidence at all. And her body has greatly declined. But one of the reasons that I decided it's time to strength train is because I was starting to feel weak, and I wanted to, A, rebuild my metabolism, B, I wanted to have strong bones and strong muscles and stronger tendons so that when I'm 80-something, my life looks different than my mom's does, that I can actually feel maybe close to as strong as I feel now. If I keep doing this, I think it's possible. And taking enough rest days and walking and just having a healthy relationship with my body, my strength, and my mobility. And that, of course, needs to be supported by a healthy relationship with food, which is something that I've spent a lot of my life healing, and I feel really proud of where I'm at with it. So all of that from strength training. Bend the knees, hinge the hips, long straight spine, look a little out in front, exhale as you engage and effort. Last 2 and 1. And we did it. I say congratulations. I usually do about 3 rounds of some sort of core work, so I am going to do that. But I have a client in 3 minutes, so I'm going to hang up with you and wish you a beautiful rest of your day. Come back and join me again. I am posting more frequently now, and all of these multidimensional tools that I'm working with, I bring together in my beautiful program called Your Essential Self, where if you are needing to create a change in your life, I invite you to reach out to me. We'll have a little conversation and see if your desired change or the unwanted change that you're stuck in the midst of right now, if it's something that I can help you with. And I know I can. So anyway, I'm here for you. Lots of love.